Moving on now, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas and his wife Ginni are facing another controversy. The Washington Post alleging a leading conservative activist tried to hide payments made to Ginni Thomas for consulting work over a decade ago. The Post reporting the activist Leonard Leo instructed Republican pollster Kellyanne Conway, a familiar face over the course of the last 7 years in Washington, to bill a nonprofit he was working with in order to pay Mrs. Thomas. According to documents reviewed by the Post, Leo told Conway the paperwork involved should have, quote, no mention of Ginni, of course. The Post also reports Mrs. Thomas was paid at least $80,000 between June 2011 and June 2012. This follows, of course, revelations that the couple accepted luxurious vacations and other financial help from a top Republican donor without disclosing them. It begs the question, how damaging is this for Justice Clarence Thomas and more broadly, Scott, how damaging is this for the integrity of the court?
Very damaging for the integrity of the court. If nothing's wrong here, if nothing needed to be reported, even though the valuation of these gifts and the payments to Ginni, and they're married, then why the secrecy then? Why directing her not to mention Ginni? Why not disclose the purchase of the homes and the Williams family members living in there? If there was nothing wrong with it, why are they burying the source? And by the way, could have criminal implications.
Now, after this series of reports about Clarence Thomas, there have been people pointing out that Sonia Sotomayor, Carrie, and Neil Gorsuch both have very lucrative book deals with Penguin Random House. They did not recuse themselves to cases that potentially came before the court petitioning for a writ of cert. Is this a double standard, or or could we change the name Clarence Thomas with a more liberal justice and Republicans would be equally outraged?
Well, I think ProPublica is targeting Clarence Thomas. This is the new iteration of a high-tech lynching. And we just had a segment on empowering Black Americans.
That's a reference to the Anita Hill hearings,
exactly,
right?
yeah. So they're going after Clarence Thomas. This is transparent partisan politics. They're going after him because they want abortion, because they want to have more rulings on the court that are in their favor. They're trying to attack the legitimacy of the court. That's what it is. You also have people showing up to assassinate the justices. That's what's happening here. It's character assassination. And sure, if they want to reform the court and have more disclosures, I'm all for transparency. But I think it's blatant that this is partisan.
Something tells me that
what do you do with the ethics, though? I mean, they're attacking him because he's been unethical, and you can't interchange those names because bad conduct is bad conduct. The question is, who is going to clean up the court? Is Roberts going to be able to clean up the court, or is some other organization or entity? Because you cannot have the Supreme Court, optics-wise or otherwise, acting badly like this.
But he didn't
bad
act badly.
conduct.
No, it was not bad conduct.
He accepted value from a
letter. He did not violate the letter of the law.
No, he did not violate the letter.
Yeah,
and the reason why he sold the property was because the donor wanted to purchase the homes to make a museum to honor the first conservative African-American justice, an incredibly historic figure.
So be it. It should have been reported.
He followed the law.
Whether it was Sotomayor or whether it was Clarence Thomas.
All right. Something tells me that we're going to be discussing this for a while.
And another thing.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.